Hello, what's your name?
Agide.
Agide. Nice to meet you. I'm Katya. This is Anthony. And today we are doing Jinkies event. In fact, we're doing it every Monday. We're going through the key of the week. So what is the Jinkies? Let me first explain it, because you said you were here. Have you ever heard about human design? Yes. So let's say the Jinkies, in fact, in human design, the was based in IT. The oldest Chinese system of archetypes and energies. And so the Jinkies, let's say, is coming from human design, but it gives a wider perspective in the way that every quality, every key, and in human design, the gate, in Jinkies we call them keys, and they have 3 levels of frequencies or awareness, and depends on where we are, we will experience these qualities differently. And they call it shadow gift in Siddhi. Like shadow is a lower frequency wherever we react through fear, and it's basically either we suppress it or we react and like explode. And there are, through every key, let's say there are 64 keys, 64 waves of this process. And there is also gift, the higher frequency, and there is a Siddhi, is a divine transparent quality. And so we are every week going through the key of the week. The key of the week is an energy that is presented now by the sun, as the sun moves every 6 days, activates kind of new energy that we experiencing. And we can have it in our personal chart or don't. In this case, it doesn't matter, because while we are in a transit, we're still feeling it, and it's kind of affecting us. And today we're gonna go like in a short version, because we have 1 hour, so we'll go through shadow gift in Siddhi. Normally it's 2-hour process where we go through these qualities and have meditation with them. And we have a team to support us. So we can start also with the team.
This is ginseng oolong. Yeah, from China. You know Chinese tea, a bit about Chinese tea?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is a ginseng oolong. You can smell the fragrance. Sometimes it can be even mixed with like watermelon or something, sometimes when they make ginseng oolong, but it's should have ginseng as well.
And so the 49 Jinki, it's the key of reaction.
The key of
reaction. So sometimes the words I will now share, first you can see why this name. But the Richard Rudd, the creator of Jinkies, he loves to play with the words. He's a poet, so I will explain later what does it mean. So the shadow of reaction, the gift of revolution, and the Siddhi of rebirth. And this key 49, this one connects to our solar plexus. It's basically how we process our emotions. And they also call it the key of Kali, because this has a lot of fire energy in it. And the shadow here is representing for us the way how we process emotions and in the connection with our needs. It raises a question of needs. What are our needs and how much we attach to them? Like say, for example, there is nothing wrong, for example, to wanting something, but when it becomes a necessity for kind of our happiness, then we create like kind of a connection that if we don't have it, we will have a huge reaction. Let's say, for example, we used to drink coffee every morning, and one morning, whatever coffee finished, something happened, and you can't have it, and then like the whole day ruined because of these things that didn't happen. So this key is rising this question of our needs, of and the way how our emotions are connected with our needs, and how we react if something didn't happen the way we want. and how we attach to disease or to outcome. And if we look at the depths of it, the root of this key, it was rooted in the ancient times where we had to kill in order to survive, like your animals, and it kind of shut down the emotional connection that we don't feel all the time, that we are one, that we're all connected with everything. And in order to survive, like that's part of our system, we had to, let's say, become insensitive to the environment so we can survive. But then later on, when we've been developing agriculture and when we didn't need anymore to kill others, this energy started to transform a little bit. And in fact, this key, it activates the process of collective awakening with his kind of his ring part in the 55 gene key that is transforming us from victim to freedom. And it activates the process of awakening in our solar plexus that activates this fire that then opening up the high awareness, the high consciousness. So it's kind of a dormant part in us for now because it's still working on a primal level, but the more we go on through this transmutation individually and collectively, the more it's activating its mutation process where eventually it has to transform and we has to come to a higher state where we can experience, let's say, reality differently and where we can be not attached to our needs anymore, and it will change the whole emotional process itself, but we are kind of still going there, let's say. And this shadow is also connected a lot with the rejection, the fear of rejection. It's also based on a tribal mind where anybody who is not part of my tribe potentially can be danger. So this is all creates this kind of conflicts, war, where we had to, where we think we have to protect ourselves. And it's basically, it's very rooted in this like anger and then defensive and rejection or fear of rejection. And the shadow here has two sides. One of sides is inert. And inert, it happens when in childhood something happened and we kind of disconnected from emotions. And whenever we feel fear, we just like freeze inside, and we don't express anything, and we just kind of all go inward. And the second type of the shadow would be, in fact, rejection itself, is when somebody is very reactive and the person rejects before like you can be rejected. Like if I feel something a little bit even that like smells familiar, then it activates this main body, it activates the process, and then the reaction happening. The second brew is a bit stronger.
So, sorry, can I ask questions?
Yes.
So this kind of shadows connects with today's key. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so while we're going through this portal, we are. Hello?
I don't want to interrupt. We just noticed on the board that you're doing gene keys and tea ceremony.
Yes.
Two things that we love very much.
Well, come and sit around the table.
We are discovering the key of the week. This week is 49 gene key. Yes, and in fact today we will finish early at 5. Normally we do it from 4 till 6 every Monday.
Okay.
It's just today we have to go earlier, but if you want, you can join till 5 p.m. We're here.
Sure. Well, we're just finishing some food. I just wanted to stop in and sort of meet you guys real quick, and I'm sure we'll have opportunity.
Yeah, just come the next Monday. It's every Monday from 4 till 6 p.m.
Okay. You guys are living in Wood or
Near.
Okay.
What's your name?
My name's Howard.
Howie.
Yeah. And my partner, her name is Maureen. She's downstairs. She's super deep into human design, and we just started to experiment on some deeper levels of gene keys, and we're both deep into drinking tea.
Oh, amazing. So
There's some connection.
you have a lot.
I've been doing on-foot T ceremony for 25 years.
Wow.
Some beautiful flora to share with you.
Okay. Amazing. Yeah, please come
Thank
next
you.
Monday. Ah, sorry, one thing I realized. In fact, next week. Hello.
Hello.
Already started.
Next week we're gonna do Tuesday. They ask us because they will have Mahashivaratri event on Monday. So next week it's gonna be on Tuesday. Same time from 4 till 6. Yes.
No, it's changed.
Okay, so it's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You can join now if you want, as I said. But today we're finishing early at 5. So if you want, we can have a quick.
We'll catch up with you guys.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, see you. Thank you.
The Jinkies, the creator of the Jinkies, he always used to, he said contemplation, like when you contemplate the energy. For example, this keys came right now, I think it came yesterday into the field. So we kind of in this process, so we can find ourselves, for example, more active. We can find how our needs, how we attach to our needs. So something started to happen that triggers it, and it's also how we create this inner evolution when we come to the gift. That's evolution is not that we should go and fight like with the outside. It's about the inner transformation, the inner evolution. And the contemplation he normally also do with the tea. So it's
Who's the creator?
Richard Roth.
Roth.
Richard Roth, yes, he's from England. There is official website, jinkies.com. You can see, and you can also make your own chart there based on your date of birth. And but as I said, here every week we discover the key of the week, as this is what is relevant to all of us. Doesn't matter if we have it on our chart or not. Yes, so let's continue with reaction. As I said, it's based on the fear of rejection that, in fact, it goes again deep into the moment when we were born and when we were separated from the mother. That's the first imprint kind of losing the wholeness, the unity, something like this, that we were in the oneness, and then let's say we were separated, and then we started our individual journey, and that's the depths of this pattern, how it stays in our system, and then whenever we feel something familiar, it activates direction, and that sometimes our needs, basically, let's say food, coffee, sex, whatever, exercise, tea as well. It's all can be a way to feel safe and to feel safe like in my body, to feel safe that I'm connected like with life, with the oneness. And then when we don't have some of our needs, or when something happens, or our partner trigger us, because this key is also a lot connected with how it's playing out in relationship, then we feel immediately that, oh, like this kind of shadow playing out, the reaction. And we either can froze and we kind of go inward, but because we can't feel our own emotions fully, so we just like numb, if that was the pattern that was formed while in childhood. Or it's opposite, we react, like explode, and that's also the reactive shadow of this pattern. And that's it's also a lot of, in fact, connected with relationship. Whenever there is like emotional, sexual, and energy connection and dynamics, and how we then kind of trigger these strings in one another. So in fact, we can see where these patterns are coming from, but that's, if we don't have enough awareness, then it's just coming as a reaction mechanism. So
this key will influence us for the next 6 days?
Not 6, I think it's till Thursday, because it started already. Yeah, so it started on
Days ago, huh?
Saturday, yeah, so it's gonna be till Thursday then. But now we kind of going in tomorrow with, like, let's say, the peak. the middle, so we can go into this energy right now, and it's more and more maybe can be amplified sometimes, and that's key is also raising questions which needs are really important and which needs in fact is your attachment, or again it's just the way how you're trying to feel safe but you escape back to the deeper inner work of how you can really feel safe in your body without just some like coping mechanism, like how you can do this inner alchemy and journey to see what are your real needs and they're really important. Or like, for example, there's nothing wrong with the coffee. Let's say, for example, if you transmuted this shadow of reaction and then you transmute your touch to coffee, doesn't mean that you will never need it. It's more mean that you're free when you want to drink it or when not. And the 14, there is with the keys, there is always a combination of how they're connected. Every key has a partner, and then like yin and yang, like a key and lock. So for 49 Jin key, his partner is 4th Jin key. And the 4th Jin key is the key of understanding and forgiveness. On a shadow level, we have reaction and intolerance. Reaction is the shadow of 49. Intolerance is the shadow of 4th Jin key. And how they work together. The 49, as I said, it's emotional, solar plexus. The 4th is a mental key. So the 4th, it's try to understand everything, understanding itself, understand the world, and it try to understand on the shadow level through information, through knowledge, through some systems. And it has like, let's say, a mind that have a structure. This is good, this is bad, this is okay, this is not okay, this is how like you should act, this is how you should not, and it has all these structures. And then when something is happening outside of this structure that's in your mind, for example, oh, this is wrong, this is bad, then the reactions come immediately from 49 as it creates an emotional process. And then basically it wants to reject whenever is, for example, I believe is not good, or it can't be like this. So whatever something is not fitting in my perception, I want to reject it. That's how this shadow patterns work together. And then we have, on a gift level, we have understanding, in fact, on the 4th key, and revolution. And understanding means that when we start to feel and understand each other on a deeper level, not from the kind of
thinking.
Huh?
Revolution is the key.
I'm speaking about 49 and 4 together.
Oh.
And so understanding happens when we start to more feel each other and see on a deeper level why certain things happen, why we act like this. And then it's also possible to understand when first we do the inner alchemy, and then when we observed our reaction patterns and we learn, let's say, kind of to smooth and to come back and to first find a way to feel safe within ourselves, to feel home within ourselves, knowing that nobody, in fact, never can give us this feeling of fullness, even if we try to kind of fulfill it from the outside, but we need to come back to feel it within ourselves, first of all. And then there is forgiveness and rebirth. So the highest quality of the 4th Jin key is forgiveness. And then basically we can see how they connected. Whenever we have reaction, we can always bring the frequency of forgiveness. And in fact, it's interesting because I was just this morning doing some let's say reprogramming healing process for myself, and I found some of the past lives where I was a woman and where there was I was killed by a man, and because of like kind of I had a lot of power and he couldn't accept it, he tried to dominate. And then I was doing process where there was part of my soul that stuck in that time. So I was doing process to help that part of my soul go to source and then bring energy back to me. And then I was bringing the energy of forgiveness also to harmonize the process, to forgive him, whoever he was, I don't know, but and to to bring this energy and this all into kind of peace. So beautiful. Forgiveness is the key right here. And that's dynamic of these keys. In fact, why the 49, they said it's the key of collective awakening, because there are patterns, as I said, the keys that are like yin and yang connection. There are also codon rings. Those are groups of the keys that connected on a genetic level, amino acid level. They in our body, they programmed by one amino acid. So, and then it means that here we have 49 and 55. As I said, 55 is transformation from freedom, sorry, from victim to freedom. And if we go to the victim, what is it? On a very root level, the victim is playing out every time when we feel ourselves victim of somebody's emotions, or when we think that somebody can make me feel something, or emotionally kind of affect me. And again, right now, as our human system exists, this like kind of body and emotional program that we can learn, be mindful when reactions happen. We can learn not to react, but we can't stop them fully from happening. That's like, it's the way how our, let's say, the solar plexus work. It seems to go through the mutation. So for now, we are in this part of evolution where we can like kind of feel the emotion and, let's say, transmute it without need to explode it. Or then we can, like, for example, communicate from vulnerability. This is a relationship with something that we learn to communicate, not from projecting, but from sharing, and then finding, in fact, yeah, if there is some problem, how we can solve it and other things. But we can't fully stop the reaction. Let's say something did something and you don't have any reaction, because in order for this to happen, the solar plexus need to be fully transmutated, where this emotional wave would not happen anymore, because the awareness will move into higher state where we'll be connected to spirit all the time, and we will more operate in a frequency level where we would always experience oneness, that it's not just like you and me and him, but in fact it's one consciousness. And when we go to that level that we'll also see in Siddhi, then it, first of all, it removes the fear of rejection. Because if we experience everything from a oneness perspective, then rejection here is impossible. And then we always feel home, because we are home. We are in this, like, it's a state of vibration. And then, of course, the way how we relate will also be very different. So this is a kind of a future perspective from, I don't know how long time it will take. If we speak in a level of humanity, not just personal evolution, but of course it always happens, like in some individuals, this mutation happens faster than in the whole group, and then it's kind of slowly also going into the collective. So we can see this week what's going on in our solar plexus, how we process emotion, how we process things, how we understand, how we react or not react. Or do we just think that we're not reacting, but we're just freezing and it's all stored inside? Or do we literally can alchemize and kind of move the feelings? And this is by the rules for you, if you want to know. Yeah, so do you want to ask anything before we go to the gift, or what is shared?
It's very interesting. So my emotion reactions past days were on the peak, on the top. But it really was more present in my heart, let's say, that I was choosing something what is comfortable for my body instead to be comfortable for others. So it changed everything. I was more grounded. It's very interesting when you was telling about reprogramming yourself. It's how you work with these keys.
Yeah.
It's only you, like, initiated person to this practice can do.
The jink is, in fact, originally it's the tool of kind of contemplation. It's a tool of your inner journey. Like you can go into the website, you can make a chart, and then it will give you the keys. And there is a book, for example, like several books. For example, there's like this book, and there are several online courses. Like I work with jinkies for 9 years already, so I did a lot of things, and also.
She's advanced. She's initiated. Trust me.
Yeah, I've studied with Richard Roth, the creator. In fact, I was also at his offline workshops when he did, and it was very beautiful, the level of frequency he's holding, and but also as I'm also basically doing energy healing, I work with people in terms of healing and reprogramming and all the things. So I kind of combined these things, because through Jinky you can really easily see, especially if you look on a personal chart, you can see what are the shadows, and then we can bring there the way how we move it, feel it, like through also some kinesiologist techniques. It's like different techniques how we can go there, how we can connect with the shadow, how we can feel it, but it's also we create, in fact, the awareness in everyday life. That's why when we work, for example, with keys in a transit, like today, and in fact, we already, when I started to do Nusada more than a year ago, so we already accomplished one full circle. And now we started the second circle
of all keys.
Yes, because like it's like a circle, how you go through that, and then
Calendar, basically. Calendar.
Yeah, something like this. And then whenever, for example, like, because there are some people, they're now not in Bali, but there were like some people who will come in every week, and every week it was like, oh, this is so accurate, what was happening with me. And
Friends.
it's also how we contemplate the key, how we're experiencing it, how we can bring our awareness into this shadow, and then how we can move it to a higher level, to the gift, and then eventually the Siddhi. But the Siddhi is a transparent quality already. It's not kind of personal, it's a divine quality. Every Siddhi is a divine quality. All 64 keys is all, basically it's kind of a one divine quality, because divine it's one, but it's split in 64 different, it's a faces or tastes, how we can experience it, how we can feel it. And eventually our job is to also learn how to integrate Siddhis. And when I started the Jinkies journey like years ago, first I was, of course I was working with my keys, and I was not even going to Siddhis, because I was thinking, oh, it's something like very like super advanced, I don't know, it's just maybe for monks. But then I was doing a lot of other things, like different healing, different workshops, different programming, and also at some point I was doing like plant medicine and different ways of basically how to work with myself. And then at some point I found out that I started to experience more the Siddhis, and then I took a book and I started to read, and was like, oh, this is in fact this Siddhi, this is this Siddhi. So for me it's happened kind of naturally, because my system changed, and my energy channels were able to connect to this energy and to hold it, basically, because it's all about, if we go to Siddhi, how much we can conduct this high energy, because when it comes, first it's like a burden. You feel like a lot of fire that's activated, and then it starts to release everything that is basically that's a block in it. And then the more we open, the more our system open, the more we can be in this let's say state, and from embodiment, not this we just go somewhere and then we kind of flying away, but in fact when we bring in the energy into the body, and then it's kind of shifting then our also awareness. So let me see what the time is. Yeah.
I always have to recognize, because I've heard about Jinky, That was one man from Romania.
Mm-hmm.
He created his own game based on this Jinky, and we were playing with him.
Is it Andre?
It's Codon.
No.
We were collaborating because I'm guiding a Lina game.
Oh, yeah.
And he was making this game. He created it with his mother, who's a psychologist. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Interesting. Maybe it's the game that our friend.
Is that what's it called?
I forgot.
Lyris?
No, Lila is. In fact,
I-
I'm also facilitating the Jinkies game. That I didn't create it. There was some Russian couple that created who. They also was working with Richard Rogers closely. Then Richard Rogers created Jinkies. So then it's when the game came, and then they also like there was a couple. She's also psychotherapist, and they both in deep in human design. The Jinkies, and he's more human design. She's human design and Jinkies, and she's also like a therapist, a psychotherapist, and he's more like doing the shamanic kind of work. And then at some point they created a game based on Jinkies, and then I learned from some point from them 6 years ago, maybe 7, and then I was also kind of facilitating the games. So. And we can speak later more.
And this Richard Rad,
Yes.
where he took this information, channeling, or his master.
It was like 10 years of downloading this. Let's say like this. He was he's itself a mystic. He had a lot of different experiences and studied Buddhism and Sufism and different traditions, and he was studying a lot human design from the Rahu, the creator of human design, when he was alive, and he was like always in this journey of development and learning. And then at some point of his evolution, how he was sharing, he just woke up one day and he was not taking anything, and he was not taking anything before. He's just woke up in a Siddhi state. He woke up like enlightened. He woke up in the state of mind where it's basically a free mind.
Psychedelics.
But without
anything.
And it
for 3 days.
It lasted 3 days, that experience that he was in that like very, and at that moment and at that period of time, a lot of things like say downloaded into him, and then it took him 10 years to unpack, to to find a structure, because first it was like just a huge download of energy and kind of information energy, but he didn't know how to there was no structure, because now if you will see there is a personal chart, and like what I do, for example, when I work with people, I help them to understand this chart and also do some reprogramming on it. But basically he created this whole chart, as you can see now, that was not before, and then it took him 10 years to finally make this system to understand what were all these connections, how to put it all together. And then we have this system, and as I said, I was working with it for 9 years already, and I always find it so deep and so transformative, because it also teaches the mindfulness. Because if you want to really contemplate your keys, you have to be aware of what's going on, and then how your inner state create the outside reality. That whatever is happening outside is a reflection of that inner quality, and that in order to change the outside, you need to change the frequency that you're sending. And that's what I also started to teach my clients, and then they started to experience when they know the shadows, understand how it feels in the body, and also what is the gift in the seed. And then situations happen, you can, this is in fact this reaction of other qualities, arrogance, and then you can shift it without reacting and fighting with the outside world. You can shift the frequency within, and then the outside world starts to differently and speak with you. Either I remember once I have a client, she was working for a certain period of time, and at some point she said that I don't even understand anymore, do you have husband or not? Because, for example, we are driving in car, we start to have some conflict. Then I remember what the work we did with you, which key we was working on, and I'm like going inside, and then I shift my frequency without telling him anything. He didn't know what he was doing without, and I shift my frequency, and then he suddenly changing his behavior. He's apologizing. No, he's like
Where from Yunnan, it's where is like the strongest, let's say, of, at least I always find it's very strong energy in the, because it's a very fast process to make this one shootware, so it has a strong uplifting, strong energy, as well as I would say it's a grounding and also elevating at the same time. So as a tree, a tall tree needs strong roots. So this is like a puer, essentially, has strong roots, takes you also very far. So,
we will finish soon. You also have to go, as you said, but we just want to say the last things now, as with the gifts in the Siddhi here of this 49 keys, that when we go into rebirth, we basically go from the natural outside world to inside, and we'll learn first about our needs. And this all needs are really important. And there are needs of our, let's say, lower body and higher body. There's also needs of our higher self, and how we can create in harmony, and how we can slowly start to prioritize needs of our soul more important than attachments of personality. It doesn't mean that it's not about denying the body, but it's more about how we can like untangle that emotional patterns. When, for example, sometimes somebody can think, oh, I'm hungry, but in fact, it's not a real hunger from body, it's emotional eating because you feel unsafe, or I don't know, rejection or something else, and you try to like kind of eat it out and like put something inside, when in fact you need to like, okay, just give yourself a hug or breathe and find a way how to emotionally come down and like speak to your child, or like to do the other process, not the food. So it's about start to be contemplative and seeing the needs and what are kind of going to the root of the needs. Because there are like basic needs of the body, like we need to sleep, we need to eat, we need to hydrate ourselves, we need to breathe, but there are also a lot of needs that we think kind of are real, but they are entangled with emotions and wounds. And so the rebirth is, the revolution is here is a process of this inner journey, where it's an inner revolution, because we go in from always being attached and reacting on the outside to the inside, and then we are creating a healthy connection first with ourselves, and then from that state we can then communicate with reality. Either it's our partner, it's just like friends and people, but we can speak from vulnerability. We're not anymore always putting our emotions into others, and we're not also kind of shaking if somebody's experiencing their emotions, because we ground it in our center, and like our solar plexus is stronger and it can healthier process the emotions, and in fact it kind of starts to move the frequency higher when it's more stabilizing in the heart, and then there is more groundness in the heart, and the more we ground in the heart, the less these emotional processes, they kind of the less we're attached to them, let's say like this, or like they're not draining us. We can more just observe. That's okay, there is emotion happening, but we're not anymore kind of go to every emotion and drain ourselves and drain others. Okay, so where is the rest yet?
Yeah, it's just I wanted to wait because it's, you can see why. Yeah, a bit more color.